I will jump to the slides. So I hope you are seeing the presentation mode now.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes,
So
yes.
hi everyone. Thank you for inviting me here. And today I'm here to talk about one of our projects which we delivered for American Diabetes Association. So through this project, I wanted to share a case study of how we improved their digital experience. But before diving more into that, uh, let's see a bit more about myself. So I am Hemant Gupta, working as a technical architect at Curio42. I love technology and innovation, and I have been working with Drupal for over 9 years now. But that's a quick about myself. Now let's talk about our client. So American Diabetes Association is an American organization whose vision is to basically uh, have life free of diabetes for everyone in around the world, and their mission is to prevent and cure diabetes and to improve the health of people. They have lots of volunteers helping them. They have a huge staff as well, and they are a completely non-profit organization. Now, about the project, the best has been described by our client itself. So they had the three major portals, which are diabetes.org, professional.diabetes.org, and diabetesfoodhub.org. These three platforms uh, caters to different kind of audiences, but all of them aims to basically help users understand various things about diabetes and to basically help them reduce the risks of them and basically live a valuable life. And our aim was to basically combine all of these three sites under a single platform to give a unified experience to the end users. So what were the key challenges for previously in those three websites? So the three websites previously was fragmented across different tech stacks. So what I meant by that is diabetes.org was in Drupal 9, the professional.diabetes.org was in Drupal 7, and the diabetesfoodhub.org was in a custom PHP based CMS, which was host, and all of them were hosted in across different tech stacks as well. They all were following different design languages, and since their implementation was completely different behind the scenes, so their platform management was also pretty different, and their content team was not tech savvy, I would say. So they were having very many challenges to basically onboard their team from one platform to another to handle their platforms. And obviously, since every site was having its unique design, so user experience was not consistent as well. And since every site was on a different architecture, hence each site was having its own maintenance team and the maintenance efforts were very high. Then QD came into the picture, and we collaborated with them to basically solve all of those problems. So let's jump to couple of solutions we provided for them. So first thing, we reviewed all of the ADS websites, their architectures, their modules, what kind of functionalities are there. Then we decided Drupal is a good fit for them. We'll talk about a bit more in later stage. Once we figure out that Drupal is a good fit for them, we basically figured out which modules we need to develop, which functionalities we need to develop, which content types we need to develop. Then we generated a migration strategy to basically take everything from the existing sites to the new setup and basically update the theming and unify the theming experience. And we tested everything and deployed it on production. So first thing we did was like unified their design system. ADA hired a design agency. We closely collaborated with them to basically create a streamlined experience for their all the three platforms. And we will show it in a bit, like how it looks like. And we developed a content strategy for them, which basically is consistent across the brand. And this ensured like ADA has everything seamless experience in terms of design. Now, once the design was fixed, we there are some quick looks into how we design the sites. And we can see like on the left hand side, we have now on these are all the three websites, but if you do a quick glance, they seem to be following a consistent design language and consistent theming across the sites. Like you can say and see and say like these are part of the same brand. Now, once we have figured out, we need to unifying the designs. We have next step was to basically figure out where to host this and do the development. So Drupal was already a solution selected because they were already familiar with Drupal 7 and Drupal 9 onto the websites, and Drupal was already serving well, but they had the problem of fragmented experience of editorial. And the second thing was they were having the maintenance problems. So that's where Drupal multi-site solution came in. So Drupal out of the box provides the multi-site support. What I mean by that is we can use a single Drupal code base and connect it to different databases. So the hosting setup becomes something like there is a single code base and different number of database for each website. This architecture will support them with the having the functionalities being developed once, and those functionalities can easily be shared across multiple sites. This also allowed in faster development cycles. This reduced the maintenance efforts, and this overall made their two key pain points go away. Now, one of the downsides of Drupal multi-site was basically like if you use multi-site setup, we generally need to host it in a single server as well. Now, if you're hosting a single sites in single server, that would also have performance impacts. So to handle those performance impacts, we hosted on Acquia Cloud Next. So what's Acquia Cloud Next? It's a Kubernetes native Drupal hosting platform. So Acquia Cloud was already one of the major players in hosting Drupal, and now they have a hosting service where they use Kubernetes to use Dockerized based solutions. So what does this do is like as soon as the load increases on the platform, it automatically adds more containers to basically speed up the process. And they provide supports for Memcache, SSH, Cloud Hooks, and all those things to basically run the operations in parallel and easily. So we chose Active Cloud Next for our hosting solution. Now, once you have decided the technology of architecture and the hosting platform, we came back to the design and implementation of that design into the site. So we chose a component-driven architecture. So in a component-driven architecture, we basically divided all of their sites designs into atoms, molecules, then organisms. Basically, like each component tied up to basically build up things on top of that. And all of these things were integrated with Storybook, so that with the Storybook, they can easily see like how their components are developed and how they interact with each other, what are different configurations available with each component. And then these components were integrated into Drupal using UI patterns module ecosystem, which comes out of the box, which is like another one of the contributed modules in Drupal community. Then we delivered overall more than 40 plus components, which includes banners, cards, carousel, accordions, etc. So one of the examples here is the banner component. I'm sharing here on the screen. On the left hand side, we can see one variation, and on the right hand side, we can see the same variation of that same component. And here we can see below there is a setting forms which a user can use to basically change the setting of the component to basically from left to right or different color options as well. Now, here the same component is another example where this banner component has been integrated into the Drupal site. And this is the homepage of the site where we can notice like on Dior, we have one way of using that component. On the professionallibraries.org, we are using it in another way, basically with inside a slider. Then in the food hub, it has like another color scheme. And same thing, like we have the configuration backend in Drupal where it allows users to basically easily change whatever they want in this slider configuration or the banner configuration. And this whole component driven architecture gave them a power of dynamic page building experience where they can just go into the Drupal backend while adding a page. They can select various kind of sections like one column, two column, and they can select a large library of components to basically build out their complete pages. Now, as part of this complete delivery, so first we delivered T-Org and Repro platform, libraries.org and professionallibraries.org. where we deliver them the dynamic page building experience. We deliver them third-party authentication using Nimble systems, which was using OpenID Connect. Then we provided them a self-configurable data import system so that they can basically easily migrate their data from various sources like CSV, JSON using feeds module. And this was self-configurable. We do not have to get involved. They can just go into the Drupal backend. They can just create their own feeds, map it to different content types, and just import the data as and when they want. We provided them with various content moderation and workflow features for their content so that their content team can basically work on the content and reviewers can review them. And once everything is looking well, then they can publish the site content on the site. Then we provided a search feature, and we basically used Apache Solar as a backend there to basically improve the search performance. And we added the enhanced media management features so that they can, whenever they are uploading media images, or they can embed remote videos, and on the images they can easily have the responsive styles attached to them so that images render differently in desktop and differently on mobile as per the viewport size. We provided different crop styling to them and many more. And once the Deorg and Repro were delivered, we looked at the Food Hub, which was another beast altogether, because Food Hub was a basically heavily user-driven website. In this portal, the aim was to basically be able for users to come to the site, search for recipes, and create their own meal plans. Then on basis of the meal plan, they can generate a grocery list. The aim of all of this was to help them lead a healthy life. And we implemented lots of features there, the ingredients and recipes backend for them, dynamic meal planner widget. And we also did PDF generation supports. Whenever they click on whenever they create their meal plan, they can just generate a PDF out of it to basically share among themselves. And this platform is also being used by dietitians to basically recommend to their patients like what should be their diet plan according to their nutrition goals. Now, Food Hub's migration strategy was also unique because here the live authenticated traffic was happening and live user data was being captured on the platform. So what we did was we ran the migration of that in the phases. In the first phase, we basically migrated everything. Like, let's say in the month of November, we basically migrated the first set of data. Then we kept the development going to implement various kind of features. The like and dislike feature was there in the old site, but that was converted to a star rating feature on the new website. Then we map the content to various Drupal entities. And once the initial set of migration was done, their previous site was having English and Spanish version of the content as well. And they were not having no connection with each other. So we made sure like when we are importing them into the Drupal, we basically correctly mapped the translation versions of the as well of the content. Once everything was done, and during the final day of the launch, we basically stopped all the authentication for a day or two on the old website. We retransported all the data into the new Drupal platform, and then we do the switch over. And since lots of content was not having the proper translations in the old system, so we also added an integrated with TMGMT module, which basically allows to use various translation providers. So we use Google Translation Provider to basically automatically create the translations for the whole content of the site. And we migrated over lakhs of users and their data, as we can see here. So let's have a look at a demo of Food Hub. And it also includes like Food Hub was built on the whole thing. So it was like using all the things which were previously shown. And I will just speed up a demo a bit. So first we are seeing the list of components, various components which have been added on the page. And after that, we are going to recipes listing page, and we have a recipe search feature here where they can users come and search for any kind of recipes they want for any ingredients they like. These are the recipe detail pages we see here. And where we have the print review option as well, where users can come and print the recipes. They can save their recipes as well for their liking. They can check them in their My Recipes section of the site. Then they can go to the meal planner page to plan out their meals according to their nutrition goals. They can change their whatever nutrition goals they want to set up and achieve for themselves. And we give them a quite a drag and drop interface to basically build out their complete meal plans. And then they can save these meal plans as well, so that next week or in moving forward, they can just reuse these meal plans. We also provided them a PDF generation feature where they can just print them over the email. And we have a grocery list as well. From whatever the meal plans is selected, a grocery list will be generated, which they can also change if they want. They can add more items in that if they want. They can change the existing quantity as well. They can remove a recipe, and then it will automatically remove all the ingredient that has been selected here. And obviously they can also print this meal plan or email it to themselves as well if needed. So that was a quick demo of what we delivered as a whole to the customer on the food hub platform. And all the features which we show were available in diabetes.org and professional.diabetes.org as well. Now let's talk about what it resulted as a whole. So what's from our client itself. So all of this platform give them a few key things, like they had the improved efficiency, they got the unified design system, and they're since our all of this thing after rolling out, they were able to do effectively the upgrades and feature rollouts across platform. Their team efficiency quite improved as well. They had a unified design, so everyone was getting a consistent experience. Then platform system was quite scalable as well, and they were not limited to particular 2 or 3 particular scenarios. And we were also able to basically roll out 2 more sites onto this platform, like during the course of this whole development thing. The obesity association and clinical update sites, those were not planned, but they came out as a specific requirements, and we were able to roll out those platforms as sites as well on the same platform. And basically their request increased by 40%, and we had a very good uh, response from the customer and their clients moving forward. So the final thoughts we have from our customer here, like they were very happy with the platform which we delivered. It basically helped them in their operational efficiency and improving the user experience. And we are still working on this platform to improve their features, and moving forward, we are looking to present more things out there from this tool. So yeah, I am open to questions now.
Nice. So Hemant, I really wanted to see how that storybook thing works. Can you demo Storybook if possible? How your components and Storybook work? What is Storybook?
Yeah, let me just
Yes.
yeah. So here we can see, like in the storybook, this is one of the storybook URLs. For on production itself, they can basically see like whatever the colors, typography schemes are available. Here are the colors we have on various sites, the typography, whatever the typography components are there. That using them, we have smaller components like alerts, error messages,
So this
buttons.
Storybook is a like something you guys have created. Like what is a Storybook?
So Storybook is a tool basically where it's a very open tool. Anyone can use
Hmm.
it. So we have written our components in Twig and we have integrated them with Storybook so that user can come here and basically check. So for example, this is our component and we can
Okay.
choose various configurations here to see like what various variations of that component will look like.
So
Nice.
this component can use in multi-site.
Yes, yes. Now, what we are doing is with Storybook, we are basically presenting the user with all the components which they have available in the site. They can see a look and feel of them, how they are behaving, and they can just test them here initially from the front end perspective without like seeing the complete integration. That gives them a good idea like what is all their components. They can see what are various options available where they can control the things as well. And then we integrate the storybook with the Drupal theme. So Drupal provide a theming engine. We integrate the storybook components with Drupal theming engine. And basically all these components are available to use in the backend of our Drupal site. So when we create a component, right? The banner component, for example. So let me go back here. So for example, the banner component gave a configuration screen like this. So they can, while adding a component on the backend side of it, they were adding a banner, for example, and in the banner, they were basically adding a paragraph or block. And when the block content was added, we rendered it as a banner. So the banner was configured here inside the storybook in the hero banner sections. And we had different kind of banners for different pages, different scenarios. They all have their different variations as well.
Nice. Nice. Okay. So we don't have something similar in WordPress yet.
I think this can be integrated with WordPress as well, I believe. So
Yeah, yeah.
And also, this can override in a specific component in front end, in
yes,
banner or in other.
yep, you can definitely override it as well, change it as well. And this is like nothing extra special. It's just has a, it also gives the code, sample code as well in here, like for developers, like how
In
to use.
simple, these are the global configurations.
Yeah, not the global
No.
configurations. These are component specific configurations. Basically, this component can take these configurations in, and by using these configurations, it basically tells them like, so for example, this pre-headline, for example, right?
Yeah.
So if any of you might have worked with Twig, so Twig is a templating engine, which is like which you can use to basically, which Drupal has adopted since Drupal 8. And in that you can basically tell like, so these are like the YAML. So we write a YAML file basically. So what is a component here is we have a YAML file, then we have a Twig file with that, then CSS and JS, all of them in a single folder. And the YAML file basically describes the meta properties of what that component take as a configuration or inputs. So for example, this component can take a pre-headline, headline, date, and time, and so on. And we just print those variables into the twig file to basically render the whole component. And we can use if else logic as well. So if for example we want to say like if pre-headline is there, then only render it. So for example, if I remove it here, then the pre-headline will be gone. And this is we have written in our twig file basically, like if the pre-headline has some data, only then render this pre-headline data, otherwise do not render it.
Nice.
From this screen, like it basically allows user to basically just play from here directly to see like how their component will behave once they integrate into the site.
So can you click on that show code in the corner at the demo screen, that show code? No, no, yeah.
Yeah, so this is
So
your
this
sample.
gives you the HTML, full HTML.
Yeah, so this is not exactly HTML, this is like twig, the code we wrote in the twig files.
Oh yeah, okay, component, yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, so the twig is a templating language which we can use. It's similar to it, you can write HTML there, but some if else logic kind of things as well. So here we are
Yeah.
in our library variables like pre-headline. Here is the if condition which I was describing earlier. where we are checking like if pre-headline has some data, then render it. Otherwise, do not render it.
Nice. So pre-headline, render, trim, strip tags. Nice. Understood.
Yep.
Nice.
So similarly, we have like placed all the variables. So this is the variable. Pre-headline is a variable, and we are just printing that. So this is like the print statement, we can say, in the Twig language.
Yeah. Understood. Nice. We